Okay, today I'm going to be working on my Juniper Cascades. The one on the right's mine, the one on the left is Mum's. Sorry about the background, I'm not going to film this if I care about how things look in the background. So, this is Mum's. They've both been neglected for quite a long time. This one's mine. Yeah, so when I got back into bonsai, I like doing it as a job as well. I did pretty much all my bonsai except these two. And that's because these, they're prickly for one thing, which I don't like, so I have to wear gloves. But also, cleaning them up, it's time consuming, and then especially if you want to get rid of, I don't know if I can find a spot, but, see in there, see, there's a lot of dead spines in there. If I want to pull all those out, that takes freaking forever. It's probably not the most necessary thing to do, though, so, if I can't be bothered, maybe I won't. I really need to do some basic pruning, at the least. I don't know how much I'll get through today, but if I can at least do basic pruning, that'll be good. And then, I don't know, I'll have to wire them and try and shape them and probably put them in a better spot, because clearly they're not getting enough sun and air where I had them. I sort of shoved them in a corner, and there's way too much growth on top compared to the bottom, so I've got to even that out. But yeah, I'll try and get through some today. I'll probably get distracted around lunchtime though and go watch some Dexter, so don't know how much is going to happen, but I'm just struggling with my life to feel like anything's worth doing, but bonsai is kind of chill, and that'll keep me distracted for a while. I actually did some yesterday, avoiding social media and all. Sorry again about the background, but it's my twin tree Chinese elm. It was just going crazy, so I just trimmed it back a lot. Yeah, really sorry I haven't set it up so that you can see it properly. There's a lot that I'm not happy with in this tree, but hey, at least it's not going crazy anymore. The little tree's not growing as well as the big one. The big one just went nuts, but yeah, I don't know. There's one thing I'm gonna let grow, try and make a new branch, but otherwise, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it in the long term. Anyways, I'm gonna get to work, and we'll see how things go. Okay, so I've started with my bonsai rather than Mum's, and I've just cleaned up all the dead branches and some of the downward pointing ones, but now I'm sort of thinking about design. What do I want to do with this? And the first problem I've got is we've got two, see, this is the line of the trunk, and then we've got two possible heads, and I mean I guess you could have a sort of twin trunk sort of thing going, but it's a little bit odd. How odd do I want to be? I do tend to do odd bonsai when it's my own rather than work, customers kinds of stuff. But yes, I'm thinking about that. And then it's hard to tell on the camera, but this angle is sort of going that way. So I'm not sure that this side is necessarily the front of the tree, although I could bring something forward. And then, which one do I want to make? Because I think when I repot it, I'm going to have to lift it a bit higher so you can see some of this and it's not leaning against the edge of the pot. And so I'm like, well, if I make one ahead of the tree, which one do I want it to be? I don't know that I want to completely cut off one of them. So yeah, I've sort of been like, okay, well, this could go down like that and be sort of more of a back kind of thing, and then this could come up. Sorry, it's a bit hard to, let me just adjust the tripod. Could maybe bring it up like that. Bit hard for you to see because I can't, deal with the camera very well. So I could go like that. I just worry that this is a little bit, that's the base, and this is maybe a bit too far that way. But if I go like that, if I push that one down to become like a side branch and bring that one up, I don't know if it looks so good. And then if we turn it around, thinking maybe the other side is better as a front. So I'm gonna have to reposition a little bit. Okay, so now it's leaning this way, which I think is a little bit better maybe, but oh god, it's so hard to focus on the. Yeah, I don't know. And then what? This one goes down, that one goes up. That one goes down, that one goes up. Yeah, I think this one is going to have to be the head. And so this one will have to come down, and maybe that's how I make my decisions about what I'm going to trim away, because this really is a mess. I think I repotted it once, like, would have been more than 5 years ago, I think. I don't even remember, so. And then, yeah, haven't really paid much attention, so. A bit all over the place. Also, while we're here, I'm just going to take it off. Hang on, let me turn it first. Take it off the tripod. So down this side of the cascade, there's quite a bit that died, so I've just sort of, you know, shaved that back, carved it. And it's kind of cute, but I think what I'm going to have to do is like bring this top branch across to sort of hide it and make a side branch. Maybe same thing with this one as well, just to get it a bit more even. And then something I really hate is this bar branch, but I feel like there's not much I can do about it. If I get rid of one, oh, it's probably gonna look a bit awful. So for now I just have to keep it, and I don't know long term how I'm gonna deal with that. Yeah, that sucks. So I think it's gonna be like a bit of a weird bonsai. Most of my bonsai are, but you know, I try and keep some stuff a little bit more traditional. Yeah, I don't know. There are some things that are just ugly even when you're trying to be a bit weird, and that is super ugly to me. So what can you do? Anyway, I think I'm gonna have to get some wire out. So whether I keep going with this for now or move on to like just clean up the dead stuff on Mum's, I don't know. Maybe I'll stick to this, and if I don't get enough time, I'll do Mum's another day. Well, that's shit. So this is the only wire that I've got at the moment. So when I go back to work on Wednesday, I'll have to pick up some supplies. Geez, I should probably check how much soil and stuff I have as well, because I've got so many cuttings and things, and it's just so much stuff to repot. So yeah, but I think I can do some decent bending with this size wire. It's just, yeah, there's some that I might need a bit thicker, or maybe I need to double up. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Okay, so the back branch that I wanted to pull down more, I don't think I can do, because if this part here, see that little red bit just in there is a bit fragile, and if I pull this too far down, I'm worried I'm going to crack it. Thanks, Hobie, for all the woofing. So maybe that's not safe, I don't know. So I think maybe I will go for the, you know, twin trunk up top with a cascade. Super weird, but hey, I'm weird, and I don't wanna break that entire bit. I don't think I want to chop it all off, because then what, we just have this would get chopped, and then everything below that. Yeah, I don't think that looks good, so we're gonna do the twin trunk weird sort of cascade thing. Alright, why not? Okay, great. So, tried to avoid splitting it in one spot, ended up splitting it in another. So, I mean, hopefully these bits survive, but, yeah, making this bit the head of the first, you know, twin trunk thing, and that's going to be a side branch. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could have been smarter about how I wired that, the angles. And I don't have any of that stuff to put in there to seal up the wound, so, hey, hopefully, you know, it survives, but if it doesn't, well, that solves a problem for me. I will have to just cut it off. And the other one can be the head, as long as I don't mess that up as well. But yeah, I'm kind of annoyed now, and I can hear Mum cooking something, so you know what, I'm just gonna have lunch, watch Dexter, and I'll come back to it, you know. Come back to torturing my poor tree, because that's what this is, right? You know, tying it up, and oh, I've been disturbing the little ants down in here. There's these tiny little brown ants, and I pulled up, you can see it's a little bit higher, I pulled up the soil a bit just so I could, you know, see where I was going to put the wire, and yeah, there were all these tiny little brown ants. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that little one? There's a couple there. And so they're panicking and trying to find a new spot for their eggs. So that's going to be fun when I repot. Have a bunch of ants to deal with. That happens at work sometimes. Anyway, yeah, screw it. I'm going to eat something, watch Dexter, and we'll see if I feel a bit more inspired or see if I feel a bit more ruthless so that, you know, when that sort of thing happens... Oh my god, I took off my gloves, didn't I? Oh, and I can't get it to focus now. But yeah, no, maybe I'll come back feeling a bit more ruthless and then I won't care if I'm breaking it because it's in such bad design, shape, whatever. Fuck, don't you want to focus, you piece of shit? Alright, so this is where I got up to. I'll try and show you my sort of twin tree thing. I did get a little bit crazy with it after watching Dexter. So there were a few more branches that kind of got a little bit damaged. I haven't wired up this section. Figure I should just let it grow for a bit. There are also some things I'm not sure about yet. But yeah, you can sort of see where it's going. It's really difficult to show you what it really looks like, but yeah, sort of getting the shape gradually. But yeah, there were a few more bits that got a little bit broken, so I don't know how many things will survive. I think the plan will be okay, just some branches may not make it, depending on how hard I've pushed them. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, if a lot of it does start dying, you'll just have to start calling me like Bonsai BTK or something. But I don't think we'll get to that point. I think it's going alright. Also, yeah, some of my wire supplies are low, so I think there are bits like maybe this one, and there was another one that sort of seemed to bounce back up. So yeah, I need to buy some more wire. Because some of the choices, yeah, it might not hold this shape well enough. So just keep an eye on it. And yeah, I don't know, I think I'll leave it at that for a little bit just to see how it goes. You can see I've taken away a lot of the excess and sort of evened it out, so it's a bit more even with that, but that does need to grow a bit more, whereas this needs to slow down so the rest of it can catch up. So just wiring this bit for the moment. I hope that kind of makes sense. And then, I don't know, in a few weeks, maybe I'll revisit it and see if I want to do some more wiring, make some decisions about things like this. You can see I carved away another one. Yeah, I'm just not sure about some of it. And then with some possibly a little too broken, you know, I want to see what dies before I make too many decisions. So that's where that's going, and yeah, I didn't get a chance to work on Mum's. I'll do that. I don't know, when I get another chance. So that's where we're up to. It's about 4 o'clock. I'm gonna clean up and have some tea, because it's getting cold. And yeah, I'm a little bit frustrated with some of the bits I broke by accident. It's really, it seems flexible, and then you realize actually it's just sort of peeled itself in half in some spots, and yeah, frustrating. But we'll do what we can with it. And I'll try not to get too aggressive, but at least we got something going. Okay, hey, so over the weekend, I cleaned this up, got rid of the dead bits and some of the downward pointing, and pruned it back a little bit, and so next thing I'll be wanting to do is shape it. It's just like it's suddenly all windy. It was warm today, but I wasn't awake enough. Now it's all windy and I kind of don't want to be out here working, but so I think maybe, like, see there's this huge gap? I'm thinking maybe I can take that branch and put it across. It looks a little bit awkward, but that would fill it for a bit, I don't know, and or maybe like I get this and move it down a bit. It's still really empty, right? And then I need to wait for something that can fill that. I don't think that's gonna work just now. But yeah, so there's some missing bits there, and then I gotta figure out exactly which of these is gonna be the the sort of main tail bit, and then I can sort of get more of the shape, because at the moment it's all over the place, you know, a little bit too wide and so on. And then I think at the top I want to make the apex a little bit more prominent, you know, standing up more. Yeah, so there's some wiring things I need to do to get it back into something a bit more sensible. Yeah, but I mean, it looks pretty healthy. There is one thing, this leg is broken, so at some point I need to just figure out something that I can attach there to stabilize it. But yeah, no, I like the pot, it's the dragon. So yeah, pretty sure that's Mum's one. My one, I haven't really noticed anything dying back yet, but it's a bit early with those bits that cracked. So we'll see how that goes. And then yeah, I don't know, I think I want to wire some bits, so like here there's like nothing here because it all died back. So if I can take this top branch out to the side, I think that'll even it out a bit more, and maybe this one as well, and just sort of work that out. So neither of them are going to be perfect, but if I can find ways to kind of approximate a good shape, it'll be okay. That's just, yeah, it's getting really windy. I missed the nice warm part of the day because I was up too late. Yeah, that's my own fault. So yeah, hopefully maybe tomorrow I can get a bit more done, but who knows, my sleep cycle's been crap, so we'll see. So I finally got around to trimming my big Chinese elm, which was just going crazy with growth. Like you can see the green bits in there are all from this tree, and there's bits all over the floor. It was just going nuts, so I trimmed it back, but I also trimmed it back a bit harder because it was more like a rectangle kind of shape before, and now it's got more of that triangle shape that we want. As for the little tree though, that has never grown well. There's bits that have died back, you know, like the former head of the tree, and it's just a mess. So I've just trimmed it back a little bit. Let's see what happens with it. I don't know, but yeah, no, I went hard on the big tree. Still not entirely happy with it, not convinced about the front of the tree. I think I changed it at some point, and I'm not sure if that's right. Also, it's got a bit of a lean, so I'd like to like pull it. Oh, I can't reach it and show you the whole thing, but I'd like to pull it up a bit if this is going to be the front. But you know, nothing quite looks right to me. And you know, with like, there used to be a branch here a long time ago that died that would have filled this space, and now there's nothing, so it's kind of empty. So yeah, tricky. It's never looked great, probably never will look great, but that's where we're up to. Just, you know, do the best I can with it. Okay, I'm finally gonna try and finish working on these Juniper Cascades, or it's never really finished, but you know, since the last bit of filming. So I think since then I did take off some of the wire, but there is still a bit on here, if it's even focusing. And no, actually today the priority is just repotting them, because they haven't been repotted in, I don't even remember the last time they were repotted. It could even be close to a decade at this point. So we'll see how much we get through. I'm much more awake today than usual, but I do have to go out to lunch at some point, so if I can at least get one done, that'll be nice. I don't know how stuck they are in there. Okay, so I think I'm going to start with this one today, and as you can see, like that sort of twin kind of thing I did before with the wire, it's mostly stuck. This one hasn't quite as much in that S shape, but the main thing I'm going to try and do is lift it up a bit higher so that we're not hitting the edge of the pot here. I'm not sure if I might change the angle at the moment, like it has to be on a table, and so, because otherwise that hits the bottom, and like that's kind of cute, but also makes it harder to find places to put it. And you know, I was trying to put them both on the ground so that you could see them, but no, this hits the ground. So yeah, I could change the angle slightly, because it's sort of just a straight down. Not sure if I like that, but it really depends on the state of the roots, so we'll play around and see what happens. Alright, so that's done, and yeah, I did raise it up, so now you can actually put it on a table and it doesn't hit the ground, and it also just seems to be a nicer angle up there, at least I think so. Now, it looks alright from this angle, I suppose. I mean, I'm not sure if this angle is supposed to be the front, but it just bothers me that this side died back, and yeah, trying to hide it, but yeah, I don't know. I might have to take off that wire soonish. Is it biting in? It's hard to tell sometimes. But yeah, no, so still a lot of work to do on this to make it look good, but I'm not really going to touch anything else today just because I want to let the roots recover and hopefully get some new growth going on so that there's just more to work with. Now with the roots, I was expecting it to be like heaps root bound and all that kind of stuff, but it actually hadn't grown a lot. Like there's maybe about that much roots, and then there were a few long bits with extra things on it. So I didn't cut it back too hard. Hopefully it'll be alright. Some things about how I put it back into the pot I don't think my boss would be too happy with, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. It's not always convenient, and I don't have access to like different kinds of pots that might have suited it better. Now I did also try and get the sign looking nicer. I think that's what it is, because it had faded so much. I'm pretty sure it's Prostrata. On the back, 25th of January 2004 is apparently when I made this one. So I just reinforced that. And yeah, so this is one of the few ones where the date was still present for me to know that. So this would have been one of my first bonsai. Anyway, looks like I do have time, so I'll do Mum's one next. Oh my gosh, I just put it on the ground to get it out of the way, and yeah, I do like that so much more. Like, it has a better shape already, so yeah, yay for that. I know some of you will be like, but it was so dramatic when it went below the pot. But, you know, sometimes you've got to sacrifice the drama for the composition, you know? And I really didn't like how sharp that was coming off the side of the pot. So, yeah, maybe past me did that because it was dramatic, but now me is a bit more like, no, what's actually going to be the most artistic, not necessarily the most dramatic. Also, one more thing I forgot to say, I almost wasn't going to put these pebbles on because at work we often don't. You know, especially, ooh, sorry about the lighting, especially when, you know, something's just in maintenance, or, you know, we're just working on something, it's not the final presentation of it, we often don't put pebbles on. So yeah, I wasn't going to, but then I just thought, it does look nice now, so let's put some pebbles on there, you know, for my own enjoyment, and maybe if it looks good, I'll be more inclined to work on it. I do need to thin out the top though to match the bottom, but that's later me's problem. On to Mum's bonsai. So here we are with Mum's. Now this is the pot that has a broken foot, so one of these days I need to figure out how to fix that. Maybe just, I don't know, chuck some Plastamake, or I'll figure something out. Yeah, so I don't think I'll change too much about it, but we'll see how we go. It'll probably just be a straight repot, really. Alright, so I just thought I'd show you this root system on Mum's tree, because really, that's not as much growth as I was expecting. Like, it was really stuck in there, but yeah, no, and particularly up the top there's not a lot going on. Now I think this has never been repotted, because when I was looking at the wiring, the seat butt wire, that's not the way I do it. I think that's Mum style. So yeah, this could have been in there since 2004. It's now 2020, and that's all there is. So I'm going to be gentle with how I cut it, because there's not a lot going on, and we want it to grow. But yeah, there was a bit of fertilizer down the bottom, and I can only guess that might be what kept it going. Like, it's that slow release stuff, but it's not meant to last that long. So well done, this tree surviving, hey. Alright, and that's Mum's one repotted, so yeah, I'm not really sure which one is the front, because same thing, it's a bit mangled from neglect, especially if it hasn't been repotted since 2004, my god. But yeah, no, it's pretty much the same thing. I did change the angle ever so slightly though, because this bit was sort of banging against that corner, and yeah, we don't really want that, so I've just sort of popped it up as much as I can, you know, just tilted it this way so that, you know, it stops doing that. Yeah, seemed to be alright. I feel like maybe I pushed it towards the edge a bit more, and maybe it's leaning over a bit more, maybe it's become more dramatic, I'm not sure. Maybe that's an illusion, but I feel like where it is, you know, how do I even show that? I should have put it more on the table. It just feels like it's reaching lower than it did before, but I could be imagining things. And then yeah, I put in these sort of pale bluish grey rocks in there. because it's kind of nice. Now this one doesn't have a little sign, but Mum and I would have done the same class on the same day, so yeah, that's how I know it's 2004 as well. Hers actually grew a bit more than mine, but yeah, it's also possible that with the other one I might have tried to do more work on it and maybe messed it up, whereas this might have just grown a bit more wild, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's where we're up to with these guys. I'll leave them to recover and grow, and then hopefully we can do a bit more with the styling. Alright, so here we are, 2 finished bonsai. Da 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 da. Angles with dog in shot, more angles. Yeah, they're a bit of a mess, but hopefully we've now got them on the road to recovery and at least looking better than they are now. They will never look perfect, particularly like this bar branch that I really hate, and all the dead bits that have sort of messed up the original composition, but we'll do our best, and that's all we can really do. Yay! And now I've got to clean everything up and get ready to go to lunch. You're a good boy! Oh. Alrighty, I'd say that's a successful repot. I can't remember how long ago I did that, but as you can see, we've got new growth. First new growth it's had in quite a while that I've noticed anyway. And the other one has just a little bit of new growth there, a little bit harder to see. That one's the one that hadn't been repotted for even longer though. Yeah, no, there's lots of little new bits coming up, so that's fun. It means I didn't kill it, yay! Alright, so this is the last update for this video, finally. This growth has continued, and we've also started to see more growth further down, which is nice because that's where we really need it. I may have to pinch back some of that to encourage growth in other places, and you can see like right on the top there. And yeah, once we get some more stuff growing, oh, I should probably take off that wire at some point, but yeah, and then we can maybe have another go at shaping, because yeah, some of it did come unstuck, and since I changed the tree angle, maybe I can make a better decision, like this is going to be the head and that one I can push out as a side branch a bit more. And then with Mum's one, we're also getting a lot more stronger growth finally in different parts, and getting a little bit thin up there, so I may have to pinch back. But yeah, no, and there's a little bit of growth coming down the bottom. So yay for all that. And then just to wrap up everything completely, here's my Chinese elm 2 tree, which I brought out here so I could keep an eye on all the crazy growth as springs come up. So I just like pinch back bits. And yeah, you can see like the branches have really filled out quite nicely. I think that's partly the growing season, but partly also the way that I pinch. Which like, so you sort of pinch just at the direction that you want it to go. So if like I wanted the direction to go this way, I would pinch just before that. Yeah, and then sort of if things get too long, pinching it back more. Just you don't want to overdo it. So like with this one, I've let a few things grow a bit more, even though it's kind of spindly, because I don't want it to get sick and whatever. And then yeah, there's some more crazy branches down here that I'm just letting go at the moment. Like I can always cut them off later. I just want to see if I can get, you know, some more shape. Like see, there's this one. So yeah, you can see here, this is like one of those newer ones. I might have showed it to you earlier on. Yeah, and sort of just letting that grow to see how it goes. Like you can tell I've wired it at some point. We'll see if it turns into something like worth keeping. Otherwise we can always cut it off. And then yeah, oh, just letting more things grow so that maybe one day I can have a proper front and figure out exactly what I want it to do to make a better shape. As for the little one, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a lost cause in some ways. I don't really know how to handle it, but we'll figure out something one day. Yeah, no, my brother really likes it because he's like, it's the one that looks most like a tree. I'm not too thrilled because the shape is just, not quite what I want, but, you know, what can you do? Nothing's perfect, right?